Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Tea and Sweets with Miss J. Of course, you guys know I'm your hostess with the Moses, Miss J. Here to bring you guys another great celebrity podcast interview. Of course, you guys know we have great guests, and I'm super excited about my guest for tonight. He is an actor. He is a director, producer. He actually does a really lot of different things. But I'm really excited to be talking with him today. I'm just beyond honored for it. So everyone, if you can give a warm, big welcome to Mr. Bradley Gallo. Hi, Bradley.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm really excited. I'm here in Santa Monica right now. I just got back from one of my most recent films, and I'm excited to be here with you, talking to you.
Awesome. We are super excited to be having you here with us today. Like I said, I know you are a busy man, so I appreciate your time, taking your time out to speak with me. But I'm going to fire the first question at you, Mr. Bradley. Where did this passion for films begin for you?
You know, when I was younger, I actually wanted to be more of an actor. I was probably in my fifth grade yearbook talking about being an actor. And so I must have had a passion young for the art of the film. But then later in life, at around 15, my uncle and I would get together and watch action movies and all kinds of movies on Friday nights. And it just started to become a reality for my dreams to be in the film and or television business. And that's where it started.
I think that's awesome. Awesome. Just to go on to continue on the questions, you produced some very interesting films. One of them is called Mr. Right and The Call. Can you tell Teen Sweets audience about your experience working on those movies, on those films?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, when I first moved to LA, I'm a New Yorker for a bunch of years. The first film out the gate was The Call with Halle Berry and Abigail Breslin. And yeah, it was a really great experience. The script read like a roller coaster. You could finish the script in like 45 minutes. It just was fast paced and intense. And we brought Brad Anderson on to direct the film, and his combination with Halle and this movie became a juggernaut of an independent film that we did independently, and then eventually showed it after it did really well at the test screenings. Sony picked it up for distribution worldwide, and it was a big hit. And so that's how The Call came about. And Mr. Right was a movie that also another awesome, exciting script. It was written by Max Landis. The director, Paco Cabezas, had done a short film, and then this was going to be a feature for him. And, you know, who doesn't want to work with Sam Rockwell or Anna Kendrick? And
Right.
We made this movie, and it's a very, very interesting genre, Mr. Right, because it's with The Call, it's a thriller, straight up thriller. You're on the edge of your seat. What's going to happen, right? With Mr. Right, it's a romance. It's a romantic action comedy, which it's like you're combining a bunch of genres together. And anyway, the movie is super cool and did really well on HBO. And if you can go to HBO now, you can watch it. And Sam Rockwell won the Oscar right after it. So clearly we're got a good track record. Every time I make a film, the actor then wins the Oscar on the next film.
That is one, oh my gosh, that's a great track record. That's going to gain speed quickly.
Now my experience making The Call, we made that movie in LA because we got the tax credit, and it was really interesting because you have all the really great crews, and we had to do it for a low budget, and we had to shoot most of it. If you remember, that film has Halle's literally in a 911 operations center most of the film. And so we're cutting back and forth between the operations center and the girl who's in the trunk of the car trying to get help. And, that's how you keep the budgets low. And on Mr. Right, we shot it in New Orleans because we were getting the tax credit there. So if you watch that movie, it feels like everywhere they're going is in these cool little areas of New Orleans, which is also a wonderful experience. So I had a great time making them. They're both for independent films, and we're thrilled to be a part of those movies and a lot of movies coming up.
Absolutely. And I have to agree how awesome it would be to work with Halle Berry. Been a big fan of Halle Berry since I think was Gothica. There's just nothing that she can't do. She can just literally dominate any genre she's in. And, so able to work with her, I'm pretty sure was just, one-of-a-kind experience. And then, of course, you said Samuel and
Yes,
Rockwell.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm. I think I would have fainted if I met Halle Berry. I'm just going to be honest. Just faint a little bit. But, you know, I'm pretty sure you played up a lot better than I did because I just probably would have
Most people fainted when they saw Nick Jonas in my movie Careful What You Wish For, just so you know.
No way. No way.
Yeah, because in that movie, that movie is very interesting because we shot it in North Carolina, and he was a huge music star from the Jonas Brothers, but he hadn't really done a lot of films. We were his first big leading role movie. And he went down there in North Carolina, and let me tell you, we were staying in this complex that nobody knew about, and eventually it got to the point where the fans were so intense. He had a bodyguard. They would use walkie-talkies. He's coming down to the pool now. Go! And they would all be like chasing him and fainting and freaking out and trying to find a way to get to him. So that was the most experience I ever felt like, wow, this is intense. You know what I mean?
He's like, this is intense. Oh my goodness! I mean, I'm a huge fan of the Jonas Brothers as well, but I think I will just faint, not chase, just faint. That's all they'll get from me is just a faint. So they don't have to worry about me chasing.
Yeah.
I'm not much of a runner, so that does not sound appealing to me. So fainting is I'm being honest, that does not sound appealing to me. So fainting is the only thing I will do. But that's
there
awesome.
You go.
I'm going on to number 3 question. Speaking with you, Bradley, you wouldn't know that Magic Rock, because, speaking to you, your passion for filming is so amazing. You feel that you've been acting for years and years and years. But Magic Rock was your first feature film. What gravitated that role? Tell us about it.
Well, that movie was the first movie. I was about 19 years old in college. I started writing that screenplay, and I was really trying to figure out, well, how do I get movies made? Because, when you're young, you don't really know what to do. And so a lot of the film festivals, it was obvious that people would just write, direct, produce, act, do whatever it takes, everything and anything. And I knew if I wrote that screenplay, I'd raise the money for that movie, and I would put myself in it because I knew I wouldn't cost anything. And then I would just put this movie together and produce it. And that sort of was the first time I realized that producing was more of what my passion was than any of the other 4, because you could then actually be a part of all the process. So when you're a producer, you could be a part of writing, you're a part of the director, you bring the director on and you go through with him and collaborate, you hire the actors and you bring them on and collaborate. And so you get to be part of post-production and the theatrical distribution and the marketing of a film. And so producing is where I've leaned in most of this time now. Mm-hmm. And so Magic Rock was just showing you that if you're one person trying to make it in this business, you literally have to do all of it in the beginning. And so Magic Rock was that first time and that first moment. I actually put that together at a summer camp because it's about a summer camp in danger of being sold and the kids try to save it. So I actually knew that if I picked a summer camp that I went to and I could make a deal where I can have the people actually fed there, they can house the people there, and then they can shoot the whole movie there, it would be a lot less money. So that's how it all came together.
Oh my goodness, that is amazing. That is amazing. I would love to be able to get some inspiration like that, like going to summer camp and then kind of just make a film about it. But no, I totally have to agree with you. When you're young trying to break into the business, you definitely don't know what you're doing, but you definitely have to play a lot of different roles. You got to do a lot of different things if, like you said, you're trying to break into this business for yourself. So
well, don't forget that movie. The movie is terrible. I do want everybody to know the movie turned out to be terrible because it was the first time. I didn't go to film school. I didn't know what I was doing. But at least you try. Even if you're going to fail, you try. So now, if you watch the movie, it's well put together. But it's boring and it's weird and it's on the nose. And I had no experience. So I'm just saying to everybody, no matter what, you got to start out somewhere and you get better over time.
Exactly. We all got to start out somewhere. No one starts off the best. Regardless what people say, no one starts off the best. We all start from the bottom. So that is so true. Going on to the number 4 there, question, Mr. Bradley. In 2018, you produced a thriller called Them That Followed. And I love a good thriller. So can you tell the tea and sweet science about it?
Well, we seem to find ourselves in the thriller world sometimes because the call led to that. But Them That Follow is more of a, believe it or not, a character piece that has a massive thriller ending. And it's about a snake handling preacher in the Appalachian Mountains. And the preacher's daughter is trying to figure out who she is and where she's going and whether or not she wants to be a part of that anymore. And she falls in love with someone outside of the group. And it leads to this roller coaster storyline that comes into the end. So anyway, we made this movie for a very, very low amount, under $2 million budget. And we produced it in Ohio. And we got together some of the best actors in the business, 7 major actors, of which Olivia Colman went on to win the Oscar right afterwards.
If you're sensing a pattern here, people.
Yes. So I seem to be a part of that lucky train sometimes. So the movie itself is very intense, really well written by these writer-directors that did it for the first time. It's their first feature. So as a producer, I was supporting these first-time filmmakers. The director, who's female of the partnership, was pregnant the entire time that we were making this movie, which is super impressive and very hard. But she pulled it off and made a great film with her partner. And the movie itself came out in theaters and is now available on VOD and also on DVD. And so you should go get it and watch it. It will shock you. It'll build you up into this like character piece that everybody's going to love and relate to every single character. And then all of a sudden it takes a turn and takes you on a ride. It's really well done.
Oh, I love those types of movies. I highly, highly encourage the TNC audience. Please check out Them That Followed. Sounds like it's a great, like you said, great character piece. And, like I said, I love a good thriller and a character piece at the same time.
Well, the movie went to Sundance and did really well. So, I mean, it's obviously critically acclaimed. So you guys should check it out.
Oh, I absolutely. VOD, everyone, please check it out. I highly, highly encourage it because trust me, this weekend I will definitely be checking it out as well. So, going on to the number 5 question. So you started your own production, which is a dream for a lot of people. But what made you want to start your own production? What inspired that?
Yeah, my production company, Amasia Entertainment, we created that about 8 or 9 years ago with our first film, The Call. It started out as a financing entity, and then we built it into a production company over time as we were getting success with our movies. And, I wanted to do that because when I came out to LA and I was starting to produce films, I was, working in another company called Troika Pictures, and I realized that you can have a lot more control over your projects, the things that come in, and the money that you raise to make those movies happen, and the respect that you get from the industry if you have your own production company and you build up that new brand. And so Amasia is a combination of America and Asia, because the future of the film business will combine, China and Asia and their audiences with the American audiences, because that's where the growth is. And so when they created and invented this word Amasia, that was the same day that I decided to make Amasia the name of the production company, because they said in a Yale study that in 50 to 100 million years, the continent of America and the continent of Asia are going to connect at the North Pole, and that huge new continent will be called Amasia. So that was the perfect way to say, let me buy AmasiaProductions.com, AmasiaEntertainment.com, Amasia Interactive, Amasia Games, Amasia everything. So I bought all the .coms and started the company with my partner, Michael Helfand, who's a fantastic partner and I've been working with for the last 10 years. And he used to be the president of Marvel. And after Marvel, he was, started his company. Before Marvel, he was the president of Dimension for Miramax, and he worked for Beacon, and he was president. He was a big time guy for a long time. Anyway, he and I together started this production company, and we've done really well.
That is incredible. I love that. Amasia. I'm hoping I'm saying that. Amasia.
Yeah, Amasia Entertainment. It's really just we're gonna amaze you.
it rolls off the tongue quite nicely. Really, it does. It just really it does. It rolls off the tongue really nicely. I like how that feels. That's awesome. Going on to the number 6 question there, Mr. Bradley. What future projects are you involved with that you can just give a little dish about to Tea and Sweets?
Well, I literally just got off a plane yesterday from finishing the production of our movie Wild Mountain Thyme, which is starring Emily Blunt, John Hamm, Jamie Dornan, and Christopher Walken.
Ooh.
And this movie is a fantastically written script by John Patrick Shanley, who's a massively big playwright in New York City. He wrote the play Outside Mullingar, and he adapted it to a screenplay, and we produced that movie just now. And it's a very awesome, romantic, love letter to Ireland and to these characters that I can't say much more, but I think is going to be a very, very big hit in the latter part of next year. So it'll probably come out in September around the Toronto Film Festival time. And we are looking forward to getting into the edit.
Oh, absolutely. And you had me at Christopher Walken. I'll watch any movie Christopher Walken is. He's one of my favorite actors. So
he's a super sweet guy. Sweet guy.
Really? Oh,
he's so nice and so professional. Awesome. And he really has a shot at getting some nominations for his role in this film because he really killed it and he got extremely emotional in his role and it's just fantastic.
Oh, I cannot wait. He needs this awards. Okay, the man is long overdue. He can he can play anything, so I cannot wait. I'm definitely hoping for this movie. I cannot wait because he's definitely one of my favorite actors of all time. He's just.
And I'll just add one more project that we are that is coming up. I'm executive producer with my entire company at Amasia Entertainment is producing a television show called Dark Shadows. And there's a huge show back in the day called Dark Shadows that had 1,100 episodes, which is so unusual. And we're bringing it back, and we're doing it with Warner Brothers and the CW. And we're very excited about that upcoming project, which the showrunners Mark B. Perry and it's going to be a big hit on that network. So I just giving other folks something to look out for.
Oh my goodness, Dark Shadows. That was the show from the 1960s, right?
Yeah, the vampire show.
Yes, massive the one that Johnny Depp did. That movie won.
Yeah, they made it into a movie with Johnny Depp, and now we're bringing it back as a TV show. The Johnny Depp movie was a little too campy, but we're going to do it in a much more grounded version of the original.
Oh, I cannot wait. I am definitely hooked. I definitely like Dark Shadows, the series. So we're calling this a sequel series, so it's going to continue the franchise going forward. So it's going to be great. Oh, I am so stoked. I think my night has been officially made. I'm excited. I am definitely excited.
You got it.
I am like beyond smiling over here. I love Dark Shadows. I can't wait. Cannot wait. Mr. Bradley, I want to make sure my audience keeps up with you and all of your work and everything you do because you got some projects that definitely people need to make sure they pay attention and catch up on. Where are you on social media? Because I want to make sure we are keeping up to date step by step.
Yeah, sure. So on Instagram, I'm at Bradley Gallo. So BradleyGallo. It's the same on my Facebook page, and it's also the same on Twitter. So if you just remember my name, Bradley like Bradley Cooper, Gallo like the wine, you just go find it on any of those sites.
All right, everyone, you heard him. Follow him on Instagram. Follow him on Twitter. You guys are going to keep up with all the projects he's definitely connected with. And, I'm here at TSVs. We're going to definitely keep up with him here. So make sure you guys follow him. All right, we are coming up to the last few questions here. Coming up to the number 8. Just personally for you, Bradley, what goals would you like to achieve in your career that you haven't yet?
Well, I'd like to use my skills and my career and my abilities to combine the entertainment industry with the social impact space. So if there's a way to start making content that can have a greater effect on the world, I'm going to be leaning into that in my future. And so it's about sort of illuminating the world on newer issues through media, through television, through film. And I hope to do that in a bigger and better way in the latter side of my career.
Love it. Love it. I hope that happens. Definitely hope that happens. Coming up to the next question, this has been actually kind of a hot topic for people for a little while. With streaming become more and more, quality for movies, in your own personal opinion, do you think streaming is replacing the movie theater experience?
It's hard to say that if it's replacing it. I think it's just changing it. I think the streaming is keeping a lot of people home. They don't have to go to the theaters as much, but then the industry is adjusting to that by making bigger and more outrageously budgeted films so that it becomes a place that they can have a reason to go out for, whether it's the Marvel movies, the Star Wars movies, the big comedies when people want to get a break and get out in comedy, the action movies like John Wick because it feels like a big franchise, they are definitely adjusting, and it'll be in the future probably more like when you spend $90 to $150 to even $500 to go see a play. You might spend, $40, $50 a ticket to see a movie if it's a big enough deal. So I think the future of the movie theatrical business will be bigger, better, stronger reasons to go out. And then the rest of the content will end up on your phones and tablets and, your television set through streaming. So there's room for everybody. It's just an ever-changing business.
I have to agree. Definitely have to agree with that. All right, coming up to the last question, Mr. Bradley. So, we are called Tea and Sweets, and we all know there are a bunch of movie lovers and candy lovers that listen to the show. But what is a favorite treat for you to pair with a film?
Dark chocolate raisinets.
Really?
When I go to a movie in the theater, it would be dark chocolate raisinets and maybe a Coke or a Pepsi. Meanwhile, my wife will probably get the popcorn.
See, I will stick with the popcorn. Oh my goodness, I just cannot do dark chocolate. And raisins. I never thought that chocolate and raisins should ever mix together.
Well, I agree if you said milk chocolate, but the dark chocolate ones, I encourage you to try. It's a lot of chocolate, not a lot of raisins.
Oh, I might have to try it out. I will think about it. But I have to say, Bradley, it's been such a wonderful pleasure to be able to interview you. I really am super excited for the projects you have coming up. I'm definitely going to be following closely, paying attention. Like I said, that Christopher Walken movie, I want to know everything step by step, so I'll be paying close attention to that. And of course, I definitely want to be checking out your Thrills, Then That Follows. That sounds like a really great film. So, but I definitely say thanks to you for, definitely talking to us today.
I appreciate it as well. Thank you so much for giving me the time.
Absolutely. Again, I want to highly encourage my audience. Make sure you follow Bradley Gallo. He is on social media. Make sure you guys do it. Make sure you follow him on Instagram, Twitter. You guys are going to want to keep up with every project that he's coming up with. It's definitely going to sound like they're going to be really great films. So make sure you guys catch up and keep up 24/7 with him. Follow him on social media. And of course, check out his stuff, Then That Follows on VOD. Make sure you guys check that out. And of course, if you guys haven't seen The Call, make sure you guys do that too. Great film. And make sure you guys check out The Call and the other films that he's also been
Yeah, if you're a Zoe Kravitz fan, there's a movie called The Road Within, and she was fantastic in it that I produced as well. So find that one out there as well. Mr. Right, I think, might even be on Netflix right now. So enjoy that. Talk to you soon.
Ooh, I am a huge Zoe Kravitz fan, so that is right up my alley. So make sure you guys check that out as well as Mr. Right. And make sure you guys keep up with all the other projects he's got coming up in the future, of course, especially later on this next year and September, Christopher Walken movie. I'm going to make sure I keep up with that. But everybody, as you guys know, my name is Miss J, aka Miss Simone Jackson. I want to thank you guys for joining in on Tea and Sweets with Miss J. Of course, you guys know we will be back with another great episode here soon. But until then, I want to thank our guest, Mr. Bradley, again one more time. I want to thank the whole audience for listening in. And we will be back soon with another great episode. Till then, everyone have a great evening. Bye.